Imagine this. You go to a party over the weekend and a friend hands you a very tiny piece of paper and tells you to put it on your tongue. Almost immediately, you begin to feel weightless and in a dreamlike state, an imaginative state, and your world and perspective seems to be opened up to you. You ask yourself, what is this substance? Well, you just took a dose of LSD 25, which is a Schedule 1 drug illegal in the United States. This semi-synthetic drug is of the ergoline family and can be taken orally, intravenously, ocularly, or intramuscularly. LSD 25 is best known for its psychological effects and its role in the counterculture of the 1960s. So I'll be going over some short history of LSD 25, as well as the drug's effects when a user experiences an acid trip when they take LSD 25. So before I go into this, I'll just go over some history first. Albert Hofmann was a Swiss scientist best known for synthesizing LSD 25, accidentally ingesting it, and learning of its psychedelic effects. After graduating from the University of Zurich, he began working in the pharmaceutical chemical department at a laboratory. And while working in this department, he began to study different chemical substances and stumbled upon lysergic acid derivatives, LSD. So this led to Hofmann first synthesizing the drug LSD on November 16th, 1938, and this was originally to obtain a stimulant for the circulatory and respiratory systems. The substance was dormant for about 5 years until Albert accidentally ingested a dose of it, and that's when he really learned of its effects. He noted that it was a positive, pleasant experience, and it expanded his imagination, put him again in an almost dreamlike state. So after this, he intentionally ingested about 250 micrograms, which is the measurement in which LSD doses are measured, just a few days after that on April 19th, 1943. So this is the first known intentional acid trip. So because of Albert Hofmann, LSD 25 was synthesized and its psychedelic effects became known. So now that we know some of the history and where LSD 25 came from, we can go into some of the effects of the drug. So a user may note that there are several physical, psychological, and sensory effects of LSD 25. We'll first go over some physical effects. So the drug is not considered to be physically addictive, but tolerance is built up with regular use. Some physical effects of LSD include pupil dilation, wakefulness, and increased appetite. Others, which could result from psychological effects, are numbness, weakness, nausea, an increase in heart rate, jaw clenching, perspiration, saliva and mucus production, and tremors. Next, we'll go over the psychological effects, which the drug is most commonly known for. So this drug is very unique and varies from person to person. The psychological effects of LSD 25 are known as an acid trip. An acid trip can vary from person to person and really mostly depends on the amount that the person took and the environment that they're in, as well as previous experiences. Users have noted that a good trip causes changes in personality and in life perspective, as well as an experience of radiant colors, patterns, a rippled movement of objects morphing into other things, and a loss of a sense of identity and an expansion of time. But if a person isn't prepared for a trip or is in a hostile environment, they may experience a bad trip, which would be where the nausea, nervousness symptoms came in. Lastly, we'll go over some of the sensory effects of LSD 25, which do sometimes coincide with the psychological effects. LSD 25 causes the senses to be altered, as well as emotions, sense of time, memories, and awareness. As far as sight is concerned, within 30 to 90 minutes after ingesting the drug, the user may feel cognitive shifts and a change in perspective. And they may see an illusion of movement of stationary objects. We talked about that rippling effect before. As far as hearing, a distortion of sounds, and again, sight and intensification of colors. And as far as touch, a very intensified sense of touch. So overall, LSD-25 is a unique drug, and once it was synthesized by Albert Hofmann, its effects were discovered and users began to see these psychedelic effects in the form of acid trips. So the next time you're handed that tab of acid at a party, just think to yourself if you're ready for it.